between human races because of nationality, religion, the color of skin, gender, and class system. This will cause discrimination. When we talk about discrimination, we must think only the government can solve this problem. However, in our opinions, we think there are many ways also can solve discrimination. We have three reasons why we disagree. We think of depending on the government, they would have slowly processing, and the time of promotion is too long. The other one is to legislate the prohibition of discrimination. This one cannot solve the problem completely, but even can cause disharmony between people. Finally, in addition to discrimination, there are some microaggressions happen in our life, like big monism. And at the end of presentation, we also talk about when we encounter the discrimination, how can we solve it? Finally, there are some different ways can solve the problem of discrimination, like education, activities led by society, celebrity support activities, and government policy. I think it is important on the education because this one can develop reflection on ourselves no matter on gender, religion, and culture from childhood. Therefore, it can avoid the occurrence of discrimination.
Next, I'm going to talk about non-governmental organization. Take Taiwan as example. National Alliance of Taiwan Women's Association promotes the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women through making a lot of speeches to Taiwanese. The convention was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on 1979. For the purpose of the present convention, the term discrimination against women should mean any distinction, exclusion, or restriction made on the basis of sex, which has the effect or purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by women, irrespective of their marital status, on a basis of equality of men and women, human rights and fundamental freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, civil, or any other field. There are many effects of the promotion by non-governmental organizations. First, TEGAW, which was the convention we had mentioned before, come into effect from January 1st, 2012 in Taiwan. Because of non-governmental organizations' help, Taiwanese know more about this policy and they would like to support it. Second, repeal all nation penal provisions which constitute discrimination against women. Third, state the right to work as an inalienable right of all human beings. Fourth, women have same equality with men before the law. Last, women have same rights with men to enter into marriage. Through this policy, women can be saved from discriminations. They could have same rights with men. With NGOs promotions, people can know a lot about how the policy works and how we can do to support it.
Rather than engaging in NGO, people can be an independent advocate to support for solving the discrimination. Here is an example: human rights supported by athletes. Staging a silent protest against racial discrimination. This activity happened in 1968 on Mexico City Olympics. In this competition, most black athletes didn't show up because they are on a demonstration to fight for human rights equality. However, these three athletes decided to stand in front of the public to show their standpoint firmly. They stood with hands folded. In the picture, the pair black athletes wore the black gloves, the black socks, and no shoes. One of them wore a scarf around his neck. Those actions presenting their spirit. And the white athlete who stood front, wearing badge presenting Olympics for human rights. All of their actions were demonstrating against continuing racial discrimination of black people in the United States. I think that it's dangerous that knowing the discrimination happening and we do not listen, speak out, and even ignore it. So when the statue building, one of the advocates named Norman vacated his places in order to encourage everyone to speak out and stand for their right.
Through these two examples, we can know the importance of government. Without government's help, angels can do nothing to command people. However, if everything was done only by the government, it cannot make the policy to pursue people to support it. And the government need to stand in the middle, cannot prefer to any other groups. So when the two groups have different opinions, the government need to choose one to formulate the policy. But if choose a group, maybe the B group will feel very angry and disagree with the policy. So people like NGO or celebrities will help government to push the policy by their ways to persuade people understanding this policy. The government would formulate the policy to protect the weakness people. But some conservation policy may cause discrimination. For example, the Aboriginal. The Aboriginal can get extra points on their test score. Some people think why they can get extra points just because they are Aboriginal and become hater than before to Aboriginal. Also, some Aboriginal will think even without this policy, we also can prove our ability in other ways.
Here I want to talk about a kind of discrimination called microaggression. There are two sides. One is without thinking and repeat the action. Another is to touch unlikely to reject other people's view. For example, big men. Some people may say they don't have big men and fight against big men. But if the number of times they break female speaking more than male, then it is a kind of microaggression of gender. The society wants to improve the situation, then we have preferential treatment and quota system. These two actions' original idea are protect like Aboriginal or female, but they mess up an otherwise good thing. It makes discrimination become more obvious. So what we can do? We should tolerate but alert. First, tolerant to ourselves. Feeling is a natural thing. Try to view our feeling like I'm angry. Why I am angry? Find a reason and survive it. Second,
tolerant to other people. Sometimes you don't agree other people's attitude, why you need to use same attitude to respond. And sometimes other people earn your position, not you. So you don't need to be so angry. Third, alert ourselves. When we are against with a monster, we don't need to be another monster. We can put forward disagree to other people's speaking or behavior, but don't do personal attacks. Final, there is a sentence to everyone. We should briefly say no to discrimination and express concern to people who are injured. It is not only protect them, but also protect everyone. And this is our presentation. Thank you.